Hi, I'm Frost, and welcome to this episode 3 of the Beginner's Guide for Age of Wonders Planetfall. And what we're going to be doing in this episode is we're going to be looking at colonies. Okay, let me pop myself down in the corner somewhere, and we'll get started. So as you can see down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we're on turn 7 at the moment, so still nice and early in the game. And as you can see, I have a colony right here called kir'ko, because I'm playing the kir'ko race, which is the insectoids, and my commander is called Mandibles. Right, as well, I have a sector that's been built here. I haven't allocated anything to it yet, because I'm going to explain about that. And I also have a colony ship right sitting on that sector. So before we get to those, we're just going to look at the colony that we started with. So this is the colony that landed with our ship, and if we go click on it and we go over to the left, so we've got unit production. Now we're going to go straight to the end, okay? And as a reminder from the very first episode, the colony, its main purpose is to extract resources from the ground and to then build stuff. So with the colony center, so the last tab, which is just up here, there we go, you can see the basic information. So we can see it's the HQ, it's the colony center. Now this is key, it is a central replicator factory. Now whenever you put down a new colony, you can decide its specialization. And the 4 specializations are energy, food, research, and production. So energy being the little lightning icon, research being the purple icon, food being the green, which is the leaves just right here, and production being your orange cog. So in this case, it's been decided for us because we didn't have a choice about it. The colony was created, and it was created as a replicator factory, which means that this colony is focusing, has got a bonus, as you can see on the screen right now. It says provides plus 15. On each turn, it gets plus 15 count to its production. But when you're first starting out, you really want to get your food sorted. And so if you haven't got food as your main kind of bonus on this colony, then you need to start thinking about applying it to other sectors. So how do other sectors work? Well, once you have enough colonists, then it will tell you when you can build a new sector. And a sector is essentially an adjoining sector. And if we zoom out like I've just done, and you make sure you're on the economy tab at the top here, you could see that we've got icons for what's available in each sector. So we have two little leaf icons because we can get forest and fungal are the 2 areas where we can generate food. And I'll cover this in my colonies in depth episode. But essentially you can then boost certain types of terrain so that you can generate more income from that particular type of resource. So over here we have double leaves, which is good, and we have production and we have research. Okay, so because I've got the little leaves there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to allocate this sector to food. Now the way you do it is you'd think you'd click on the sector, right? So if we double click, hang on, so I've got my colonizer underneath, there we go. See, upgrade sector. But actually you don't do it on the sector, you actually do it in the colony. So it just pushes you straight to the colony. And what it does is it puts you on the 3rd tab, which is here, sector production. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose agriculture exploitation. And as you can see from the pop-up, what we're going to do is we're going to get plus 5 income for that sector. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on that and do produce. There we go. And that's going to then take effect on the next round. Sorry, 2 rounds, as you can see, because we have it's going to take 2 turns for it to actually build that resource. Now, talking of building, okay, one of the things you're going to want to do as soon as you have 30 cosmites is you're going to want to build one of these colonizers. You need to try and get yourself colonies as quickly as possible, ideally at least 1 every 10 turns, so that you've got 1 specializing in production, 1 specializing in food, and 1 specializing in research. Okay, those are your key areas. So what we're going to do is, in the meantime, we're going to look at this colonizer, which I've got here, and we're going to find a new colony for it. So we're going to focus on food again. So if I zoom out, I can't take this sector here because there's no food available. But if I look to the one to the left, then I can grab that one. The only problem with that is I can't grab it because you can't build a colony next to an existing one. So my options are that I can't go here, I can't go here, I can't take any of these top ones. So the nearest place I can build a colony is essentially over here or over here, down in Mayor Grove. So those are my two options. So right now I forgot the name of it. There we go, my colonizer is right there. You see, I'm doing this live. I think it's much better that way. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to move my troops up. So I'm going to end this turn, and I'm going to move my troops up with the colonizer because I have some marauders over here. And if I try and move the colonizer on its own, the marauders are going to kill it because it has no defenses. So we're going to let them take their turn. Look, you see it's creeping up already. So I can move, I can't move all the way, but I can move right next door, which gives me a perfect chance to mention adjacent hex. Okay, I didn't mention this in the basic combat, but it's really important that any armies that are in an adjacent hex to the army that's being attacked or the structure that's being attacked gets dragged into the battle. So what that means is you can have a maximum of 7 armies involved in a battle. So I just thought I'd mention that. Okay, so now what it means is if those marauders attack my colony ship, then my army of 6 with my commander will get dragged into the battle as well. So essentially it's protecting the colonizer. So we're going to leave that there for a sec. And as you can see, we've still got 1 round left. So I'm going to talk about production. So unit production. You want to make sure you always get one of these guys created as well. That's one of your flying units. Every race has a flying unit by default at the start of the game. And you always want to have one sitting in your colony. The reason why is when you actually want to create a sector, you have to move a unit into that sector to claim it. So if you've got a flying creature or unit, then you can just get there and hopefully in one move from your colony and then just create the sector. You'll know when a sector is available by either, actually by going to the People tab, over here, the Colonist tab. If you click on it, you can see at the moment I've got growth in 1. So that means in 1 round, I will have the ability to create another sector. Whilst I'm on this tab, I can also show you very quickly how the production works. So if you hover over each of these, you can see therefore that this creates 26 income of food per turn. There's the upkeep, which is just necessary for the colony. Then you have the number of workers. So as you can see, I've got 2 workers here. And because of those 2 workers, each worker always adds +5 to the colony. This is why it's good to have colony specialization, because you saw that you had a +15 bonus as soon as you created the colony. Then in electrics, I've got 75, 100, and 40. Now this is why you want to build your colony. You want to get food, because the more food you have, the more colonists you have. The more colonists you have, the more these little slots get filled up, and you're therefore then able to allocate. Also, by adding sector specialization, what it will do is it will add an extra slot. So the sector, by having selected food, once that's created in this on the next round, you will then have an extra slot there for another colonist, which means you'll be able to then maximize it. Not really necessary at this stage, but I will show you just anyway. If you click on the auto, you can then go into manual mode and you can move colonists around. So he's gone into idle, and I can pop that person into production, move them back, move them up into energy, and so on and so forth. And then you can just click back to auto and it will balance it back out again. Right, very, very useful if you're running really low on resources, although don't forget you only get +5. All right, so that's kind of just covering all of those elements. So we're just going to end this turn very quickly, and we're just going to zoom through this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to create the next colony. And I can just show you the quick process for that. Right, there we go. So let's see how far we can move. See, I want to keep my army next to my colony, so my colony could move much, much further, as you can see, but I'm going to the limit of what my army can move so they don't get separated. So you always move your slowest army or slowest unit first, and then that way you keep everybody tucked together. All right, so what I can do is I can build a forward base here. So I don't really need to do it, and the reason why I don't really need to do it is because if you look, I'm at the top of the map, and I can see there's nothing above me. Because there's nothing above me, the chances of being invaded from that direction are very low. So I might as well not bother about building a forward base. You only really want to do it when you know you've got a border with somebody. So we're going to just quickly go through the turn again, just move on. Here we go, independence are moving. Okay, that's the little guy is going to die. So we're just going to auto-combat that and move on. There we go. All right. All right, we're going to close that as well. Everything's happening at once, but I want to get this colony sorted. Right, so let's move this over here. There we go. So you've got to see I've got a little blue flashing icon telling me that I can build a colony there. I could have built one up also up here on Granger Peaks. If you remember, there's no food available. So we are going to go to Sanctioned Woodlands. So we're going to go over there, move the colonizer, and there we go. I can found a kir'ko colony, or kir'ko colony. And do I want to build in this claim sector? Yeah, okay, so this sector's already been claimed. And what that means is that because someone else has gone over this sector, it's going to essentially give me negative standings to that person. But it's a neutral faction. It's one of the NPC factions, so it's not really an issue. We can just do a quest for them later, and then they'll be happy. Right, so there we go. So that's been created. Okay, we've got a hero coming in, but that's going to be in another episode, because today we're just talking about the colonies. So we're going to finish that turn. Luckily, at this stage of the game, it all moves quite quickly. All right, auto combat that as well. All right, so what happened there, very quickly, was the marauders attacked my sector. But the sector already has its own defences. You see colony militia power is at 280. And so it has its own auto defences. And that was enough at this early stage of the game to handle any kind of marauder attacks. Okay, there we go. So I've got my new colony called Juzdrun, because the insectoids don't like to have simple names. But if you want to, in the colony up here, you can change the colony name if you want to. But I like to keep the original names. And you can also transfer your HQ. Now, this is quite important. If you're in a war situation and the enemy is quite close to you, you may want to move your HQ as far away as possible. But be aware that it takes 4 turns to do that. Okay, other things to be aware of is you've got the sector analysis here. You've got features, so forest boosts through research and fungal boosts through research. Because if we zoom back out, you can see that we've got forest and fungal as our 2 terrain types. And if we go to the research economy tree, okay, right here, you'll find them up here. Okay, these are the exploitations. But we'll talk about that in the colony in depth episode. Okay, so we've got that created. So the first thing we need to do is click on the second tab up here, structure production, and you want to create a biofarm. Okay, so the biofarm is going to focus on the food and give us plus 15 bonus on the food. The replicator factory we've already seen does production, the science lab does your research, and your reactor core does energy. Okay, so those are the 4 types. Ideally, you want to do food first, then you want to do energy, then you want to do replicator, and then finally you want to do your science lab. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add central biofarm straight into the queue. So produce. Okay, also whilst you're here, you're going to want to create a couple of other bits and pieces. Your recreational dome, just so you're aware, is because your colonists may get upset. And if you use the recreational dome, as you can see, what it does is it gives you 2 happiness slots. And it boosts 4 happiness income. So this will go up by plus 4. And in your people slots, you'll get 4 slots down here, where you can then add colonists if you desperately need to improve the morale in the colony. Okay, coming back, other things you want to do is build things like the skirmisher barracks and your training centre, because they allow you to produce better quality units or new units for your army. And standard military infrastructure, that essentially gives you extra features as well. For example, Hive Guard defence turrets, which is mentioned there, that basically gives your colony its own automatic defences and strengthens them up for you. Okay, we look at our sectors. We have no sectors annexed. Okay, and on our people, you can see we've only got 1 colonist right now, but we will build that up pretty quickly because our food's going to go up pretty quick. Finally, one last thing I want to mention, and I'm going to wrap it up here for now for the beginner's guide. When you're producing something, you have the option, if you want, to buy it now. So if you're in a hurry, you can click over this little icon of a stopwatch, and you have to pay an energy, and then you can just click on it straight away, and there you go, you have it. It's now done, and you're moving the next thing up in the queue. So kind of important if you need to build armies quickly. And what it allows me to show now is in my sector. No, I have to finish the round. So let's finish the round, and then we can wrap up on the colony. There we go. Go into the colony. Information. There we go. So our central biofarm is active, and we're producing plus 44 now. So that's great. Okay, that's about it for now. I hope you liked that. I hope that's useful. Please leave comments. You know, if I think I've missed anything out for a beginner's guide, then please let me know. I will be producing an in-depth one a little bit later, and I'm going to cover all the various elements that you can add to a colony. So for now, please click like or dislike. You know, let me know. Post in the comments, and please subscribe. All right. Thank you very much, and see you in the next episode. Bye.